All right, welcome to another edition of Sports Talk. Alongside my dad, Norm LaMadeline, I'm Matt LaMadeline, and welcome to the show. No Marty Mad Dog Murphy this week. He's not feeling well again, so that's all right. We wish him well.
Wish him well.
His whole family well.
Thank you for looking in.
Yeah. Everything good, Dad?
Yep, everything's good.
Good.
Finally over our fantastic NCAA tournament season.
Yeah, well, it would have been more fantastic if we had a winner either with the women or the men, but obviously we knew last week that the women were done, but the men, they got outplayed. They got beat.
It was a great game, though. I think if you look at it as a defensive game, they were right there in the defense. They were slugging it out,
Yeah.
And they did very well rebounding, especially in the first half. But then they started accumulating fouls.
Right.
And so what eventually cost them the game, I think, was the fact that Michigan had got 21 for, his field goals, 25 for 28 on our foul line, right? Yeah. And we had 12 for 16. So right there's a 13-point swing right there. Yeah. It was 69-63, a 6-point game. So that's where the game was decided.
Well, they had 20 in a row. I remember that. And you know what? They were just better. The bottom line is, you know what? And I really, really saw what you and Marty were talking about last week about foul, because UConn was in foul trouble early, right? Even, in the first half they were in trouble, and then in the second half. And the only thing I could say, Dad, is that UConn just doesn't drive the paint. And that's why. They're 33 three-point attempts. You know what? They lived and died by the three. And you know what? They only made 9 threes. I mean, 1 or 2 of those go in, and we're looking at a different game.
Yeah.
And the foul trouble as well, right? Like you said. Crazy, because Michigan was very, very good, right? And UConn didn't have an answer for the big guy there, Mora, the 7-footer. It's too bad because it was a great season. We certainly expected the women to win, right? And we lost there. And they got whipped. They did get whipped by South Carolina. And the men, I think they lost all their magic after the Duke game.
Well, they still won a couple of good games. They won the Illinois game.
Yeah.
And that was a big win.
Right.
And that to me, it looked so good then. I thought they really had a good shot.
Yeah.
That was the second win in the tournament. During the season, rather.
Right.
Because they did beat Illinois earlier this year. Yeah. Everybody says, it doesn't mean anything. The teams are all different now.
Yeah.
We had the portal. And Michigan, matter of fact, Michigan had a completely different team in the portal than they had earlier in the season.
Yeah.
So, we're looking at the portal now, too. Wow. And I don't think that UConn did very much in the portal. We had a team, stayed with it.
Right.
And we thought they were doing very well.
Wow.
But, the other teams are getting stronger, I guess, as they went through the portal. And they're changing things around. It's like a chess piece, I guess.
Right.
They're moving this guy and this guy there. Somebody's coming in and somebody's leaving. So that's the way it turned out during the season. So the early season wins, which UConn had done very well. They only one loss to Arizona.
Right.
And then their other 4 losses are in the Big East.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? 2 to St. John's, 1 to Creighton, and 1 to Marquette.
Marquette,
right? Yeah. And again, I said all along that I thought Creighton and Marquette were bad losses, but maybe they weren't. I mean, the Big East is some tough basketball, and obviously there is lack of respect for the Big East, and I agree with you because UConn underdog this whole time, right? And one of my buddies is a big Syracuse guy, so I got to listen to his trap about how UConn's this and UConn that, and I just kept saying okay, and then of course the final, he got the last laugh. Not that Syracuse has done anything right recently.
Well,
but,
they went to they want to go to the ACC, and that's what they got.
Yep.
They got bunched in with about 3 other teams.
Right. Be careful what you wish for, right?
Yeah,
but it's all about money
for,
too. It is all about money. We know that.
Absolutely. It would be nice if Syracuse wanted to stay in the Big East, or
right.
if we kept parts of that Big East.
Yeah.
But they all went to the ACC, Big Ten, all over the place. Rutgers, SEC. They just moved out. They broke up the Big East.
Well, unfortunately, Dad, too, we know if UConn gets a sweeter deal, they're going to. It's just the way it is these days. And, especially now, we were talking with my brother, your other son, obviously, son number one, Mark, just how the game is changing and it's changing and it's changing. All the, now people are getting paid and, the players are getting paid and just, the television and the all the commercials with the kids, like the Boozer boys were in like 3 or 4 commercials.
Duke, yeah.
Yeah, from Duke. And, the UConn kids were in, Gino was in a commercial. I don't know if these were national commercials, but we saw them. And it's like, all of a sudden these kids are big time celebrities where it used to be just their basketball players trying to make it to the, to the NBA. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I hope that UConn can keep this team together, right? But, what did we say that the German kid there, is it Recibe? Reiby is already looking into the portal, right? I would have to think we're going to lose, Reed and possibly Mullen even, right? And we know Caravan's gone, so we're looking at a totally different team next year. I mean, even Solo Ball maybe.
Yeah, Solo Ball's a junior.
Yeah.
Then we have Ross. Ross says he's staying.
Okay.
So that's going to be a good source right there.
Okay.
He's a real good backup.
Right.
Good backup with Reed.
Right.
They were a good 1-2 together. So I think they learned a lot, and he should do well. And I don't know. I have a strange feeling that the Ball's not going anywhere. He's injured. He needs a better year.
Yeah.
And better to get a decent contract.
Well, unfortunately, too, I think he was non-existent in the big lights of the NCAA tournament, which is too bad.
Yeah.
Because he had a good year. And, I'm a fan of Solo Ball, obviously, and if he gets the right contract or he's drafted, whatever I'm saying here, I'm not quite sure, but he could be gone, let's face it.
Oh, yeah, he could.
And you know what? So we could be looking at a whole new UConn team next year.
Well, that's what Hurley says. He's already looking. He's checking the portal.
Right.
As soon as the tournament was over, he got to work.
Oh, yeah? Year. Yeah, and unfortunately, you have to these days. You have to start. I'm sure it's a full-time job. All year now, not just let's start thinking basketball in August or whatever. These guys really need to with the movement, the portals and all that kind of thing. Now that you can let a good player slip away from you. And we saw Reed. I mean, Reed came in 2 years ago, right, from
Georgia.
Michigan.
Oh, that's right, Michigan, yeah.
Yeah,
There was one, we got one from Georgia, too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you're right, Michigan, yeah.
And,
it would have been a great asset.
Well, Reed got shut down by Michigan, too, let's face it.
Yeah.
He was up against us.
He had 3 fouls, I think, in the first half.
Yeah.
So that really hurt right there.
And Solo Ball, too, was in foul trouble in the first half, too, I believe. He sat out a ton of time. So, yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that here we are. Everybody was talking about the Jordan's commercials and all that stuff and how Jordan was sweating it out. Well, I'll tell you what, if people went and spent a ton of money on furniture, well, he got the last laugh for sure.
Well, it was close, though, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'm sure we were sweating right to the end.
Yeah.
Because our teams ended up the finals. We got the second best men's team and the third best women's team.
Right. As soon as the women,
actually,
right.
That's what the coaches say.
Yeah. Well, it's too bad because we obviously thought that UConn women were going all the way, especially after an undefeated season, and like you said, they ended up with a better record than the national champion UCLA women. So 38-1, that's quite a season, Yeah. But they did get whipped against South Carolina.
Last year I think it got better. They were 37-3 and won the title.
Yeah.
And I think those losses in February kind of make them realize, hey, we can lose.
Yeah.
And you don't get that when you're already 38-0.
Wow.
We'll think, well, we should be able to do this.
Yeah.
And the other teams say, hey, we're going to get these guys.
Right. And the mere fact that we're saying that we don't have a national champion is crazy to me.
First time in 4 years. First time in 4 years.
It's so true. I mean, between the men and the women, we have been spoiled rotten, and it's a shame. I mean, the season's over, obviously, and it would be nice to still be celebrating, right? But it's not. It didn't happen, so we have to move on. Michigan was the better team, and South Carolina was the better team. On those days.
Yep.
Maybe not necessarily for the season, but they were better on that day, and that's all it takes.
That's what counts. Yeah, it's like Duke Duke had to face the loss to UConn. Duke was so favored.
Yeah.
You know, and they were looking for a sixth national championship.
Wow.
And UConn always has 6.
Yep.
So we knocked Duke out the possibility of getting to number 6.
UConn, slammed the door on Duke, and that's always a nice win. Like I say, with the Yankees, anytime they beat the Red Sox, it's good. Even if both teams stink, right, which they do right now.
Yeah.
But any win against the Red Sox is a good one, and that's the same thing with with our Raiders. Any win against Kansas City is a good one. So that's what we'll say for UConn basketball. And I guess we're going to have to say moving forward, any UConn women's win against South Carolina is going to be a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That's their rivalry now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what were you saying about AZ FUD, though? Is something today, yeah.
Today is apparently the WNBA draft.
Okay.
And I was just saw a paper very quickly. They just said that AZ FUD is considered the number 1 draft pick.
Okay.
At Dallas, it's going to Dallas.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, we'll see tonight. But yeah, I mean, if they're saying it, then the experts know, right?
We'll know when we get home tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we did mention that we're going to lose our Connecticut Sun as well. They're going to do one more lame duck year up at the Mohegan Sun, and then they're going to Houston. So, it's unfortunate, right? It's another team that we're losing here in Connecticut. We're losing a minor league team in Bridgeport, and we're losing the what do you call it? The Connecticut Sun. So, it is what it is. And the shame of it all about Bridgeport, too, is they are celebrating their 25th anniversary right now of hockey in Bridgeport at the arena down there. And it's a lot of fun, but they just don't draw. So what sense this makes, I'll never know. But the Bridgeport Islanders, whose parents are right across the bay, are moving to like Hamilton, Ontario or something.
Yeah.
And staying with
Ontario.
and staying with the Islanders, which just makes absolute no sense to me. But hopefully we'll get another team down there. So I know you have a bunch of college basketball stats and things that you were talking about earlier, just about since '85 and how successful the UConn program is. What do you have there, Doug?
Let me summarize it. Thing is that there was an article in the Waterbury paper how they combined all the men's appearances by school, Final Four. The final championship in Sweet 16s, and UConn has number 6 has 6 national championships since 1999.
Wow,
so
been a good run.
And they last couple of years they beat out Duke and North Carolina. Duke had 5 and North Carolina had 4. Kansas had 3. So we're hoping to get number 7 this year. It would have been nice.
Yeah, would have been nice.
But we did knock out Duke anyway, so
that's
so Duke's not going to get number 6 this year. Did not get number 6.
Right.
But the Final Four appearances, UConn has the number 6, and they had 8 Final Four appearances. Duke had 14, but that goes all the way back to '84.
Okay.
I think our first Final Four, I think, was '92. It's Michigan. We lost.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So these are all the colleges in the country. So they got number 6 for Final Fours, number 1 for championships, Sweet 16s. UConn has 17, Duke had 29. So, this program is doing very, very well.
It is.
Compared to the women, of course, the women, they're probably number 1 in everything.
Right.
But, that's what they're doing. They want to show how the men are, how we're doing as well. Because, Connecticut, we look at our women, and,
they're
12
unbelievable.
national championships, 14 Final Fours.
It's amazing. Huh?
So, see that we have pretty good basketball programs in Connecticut.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I was one of those naysayers when it came to the UConn men. And I said, I'm sure I mentioned here as well. I know I told you, Dad, that I would have been happy if they made it to the Sweet 16, and boy, did they ended up having a good run, right? But I would have fully expected the UConn women to repeat. So
that was more disappointing.
Yeah, I think it was, and I think it was for a lot of fans out there because there's such a huge fan base for the UConn women, and I'm nothing against them by any means. I just think that a lot of their games are unwatchable because they blow teams out. But yeah, I mean, there's certainly a fan base. I know a lot of people that aren't even really sports fans that follow the UConn women. So. it was a major disappointment. It really was. But
Well, you always get down to it, though. You know, you get down to the Elite Eight and the Final Four.
Yeah.
You think there's 10 or 12 good women's basketball teams.
yeah, there really is. There's a lot better. There's a lot more better.
They're
how do
getting
I
better,
say?
yeah.
Yes, they're getting better. It seems
Yeah.
like there's more teams every
Programs
year.
are getting better.
The programs are definitely getting better. I would agree with
And
that.
they have the portals now, too, so
Yeah.
they're going to get even better.
Right. Couple things coming up. The NFL draft is the 23rd through the 25th in Pittsburgh. We've got the NBA play-in games are starting this week, and then so I guess it's the actual finals will be starting today. I think it is NHL playoffs in next week. I think it's the 18th, which is next weekend as well. So we're gonna have a ton of stuff coming up. But we definitely got to mention the Masters too. Do you have? Did you have any other college basketball before we move on?
No, I think we're good with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess we just wrap up a good season. Unfortunately, it wasn't what we wanted, but it was. We got a lot of mileage out of that season, that's for sure, between the men and the women basketball. And congrats to them as well. I'm sure that they're all very disappointed. We know Gino is extremely disappointed, and Hurley as well. So hopefully these players will move on and they'll either stay with the program or they'll do well at the next level, right? The Masters was just. If you're not a golf fan, and I wasn't when I first started watching the Masters, but it's just the pageantry of the place. It's so nice. I mean, to think that in April that they can have that place. It is Georgia, of course, but they have that place just so gorgeous, and just the history there is unbelievable. And of course, Rory McIlroy, poor guy, he had to make it very, very interesting. He had a huge lead after day two.
Yeah, six holes.
He had a 6-stroke lead, I think it was, going into Friday, going into Saturday, and then he had what I can't call a bomb of a round. He can call a bomb of a round. He had a 73 at the Masters, which is not a good round. I would kill for a 73 anywhere. and poor Rory, was still in the lead going in yesterday, but I believe he was tied going into yesterday. And then, boy, he almost blew it on the 18th hole. He had a comfortable 3-stroke lead, and boy, he shanked one, and then he 2-putted, and then again, I'm not saying anything about these putts. I'm good for 2 putts, 3 putts most of the time, but boy, he was sweating it out, and he left about a couple inches to finish it off. But boy, he again, he could never make it easy on himself, the poor guy. And I like Rory. I always have. Now he's a back-to-back winner and a $4.5 million, check as well is not too bad.
Right.
What do you got there, Dad? I know you got a bunch of stuff.
-12.
Yeah.
And this was his second Masters in a row.
Yeah.
It's the first time it's been done since Tiger Woods did it.
Yeah.
Which is, it's an amazing thing. And Schaefer was number 2, and Hatton and
Scotty
Henley.
Scheffler was number 2, right? Yeah.
Yep. He was minus 11, and Hatton and Henley were minus 10.
Yeah, there was 3 guys at 10, right? I think at 10 under.
Another one, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, it was.
ESPN screen.
Yeah, because I just wrote down Rory 12 under for the weekend and Scotty Scheffler 11 under, but I know there was 3 or 4 guys that were, that were 10 under, and I mean even the third place guys made $1.1 million for the tournament. So I mean that's quite a paycheck for the weekend, And I remember saying to my girlfriend Karen that one of the 3 guys. In third place, he was going for a birdie putt, and I said to my girlfriend, I said, he better make this putt because there's probably a hell of a pay difference between coming in third and coming in fourth. He made the putt, needless to say, but boy, I just don't know how these guys can play golf with all these people in their way, And don't get me wrong, they shush him and they make it quiet, but. I mean, you're teeing off and you are seeing people everywhere. I can't do it. You know, and obviously I'm not a professional golfer.
pressure,
but,
yeah.
yeah, but we'll talk about pressure. But yes, and you were right that he is the first since Tiger Woods to go back to back. There's only been 4 in the history since
Yeah, Tiger Woods was 2001, 2002. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know, two times he won. Yeah.
Yeah, they said Nick Faldo. I wrote it down somewhere. Nick Faldo did it, and I want to say the '80s, and Jack Nicklaus did it back in the '60s, I think. So there's only 4 guys that ever go back to back at the Masters. So that's a big time. You know, that's a big time thing as well. And again, you know, Rory's there with his family, and you know, I'm happy for all the guys whenever they win, you know. But yeah, I like Rory a lot, and I think that you know, he just, you could see, you know, he's down there. You know, these guys are crying, and they're, you know, it's big. I mean, you know, they get that green jacket, and that's huge.
Yeah, 2 green jackets in a row.
Yeah. I mean, that's and again, the Augusta, you know. Congratulations to everybody who works on it. You know, the groundskeepers, everybody who makes that event happen, because that golf course is just amazing. And they have one area they call Amen Corner, and you should just, I mean, they showed the bunkers and the sand, and I don't know how these guys do it. I really don't. You know, I call myself a hacker, obviously, but watching these guys, they just make it look easy. They really do, because even a couple of the guys that hack their drives into the woods, they get out. They get out, you know, in one shot, and they get themselves in a decent you know, play you know. Whereas, you know, one guy was like, he should have been on his knees.
Yeah.
He got out of there. It's crazy. They make the game look easy, but I also root for when they mess up. I'm like, good, because this game is not that easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I have on the Masters. You got anything else, Dan?
There's a couple of things too.
Yeah.
ESPN. You know, I recommend if everybody wants to get some real good sports stuff, because they have the greatest sports writers. They have the best statistics of anything. You know.
Yeah.
And the screen is up there. It says MLB. You know, NFL, and you know, you just click on it. You get everything you want.
Yeah.
And so I was looking up. I want to see how many wins, PGA Tour wins people have had. And Tiger Woods is tied with Sam Snead, 82.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
And Tiger Woods won his first in 1999.
Yeah.
1997.
1997. Okay.
And Sam Snead, 82. Jack Nicklaus, 73. Ben Hogan, 64. Arnie Palmer, 62. These are big names, right?
Yeah,
These are people who have been around a long time, and they are masters, and
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing how these guys have been able to. And I was not a golf fan way back when, so I don't even know a lot about these guys that were truly the kings of the game, right? But I'll tell you what, they show it, you know, like they show the Masters clips from way back, and it looks very, very cool. And you know, there was always crowds and crowds of people there. It's not like it's something new, but Tiger Woods brought a lot of people to the game, you know, and but it was alive and well before Tiger. Let's face it.
Well, it's kind of like a rich man's sport at the beginning. It was kind of like, you know, Anglo-Saxon maybe.
Yeah.
You know, but little by little, you know, people were coming in. But Tiger Woods was really smashed all the glass ceiling, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You know, he just came in and showed that you know, he was going to go a long way.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I think during COVID too now, you'll notice a lot on the local courses that there's a lot more people playing golf, because that was something that you could do during COVID, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and there's no doubt about it. I'll tell you what, golf is alive and well in the Waterbury area too. There's no question about it. So I mean, it's a great game, but it's a very frustrating game as well. You know, it looks simple, but it certainly is not. And these guys are pros for a reason. I mean, that's their job, obviously. They hit thousands of balls a week, I'm sure. I mean, you know, we talk about, you know, Rory winning $4.5 million for the weekend, but you know what? He is a professional, and you know. Yeah. These actors are making $20 million for movies, and you know, it is what it is. So you know, it's still, the fans are showing up, and buying the equipment and buying the merchandise, and it is what it is.
Well, it's good. It's a healthy sport, and I'm glad that you golf.
Yeah.
I know you enjoy it.
I definitely try hard, Dad. I'll tell you that. There's a lot more trying than anything else.
Well, you're doing good though. Just
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
out there
yeah.
and being
Getting
able to
yeah.
walk it.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
it's good. Very
It
good.
is,
Stay
it is.
healthy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I try. That's all we can do. But I do love the Masters, and you know what? If you didn't watch it, and you're a golf fan, then wow, then you miss some really good golf. And if you're a casual fan, I think it's fine too. And if you're not a golf fan, then you're not even thinking about the Masters. Dad, we have about maybe 5 minutes left, so we should probably at least touch on some baseball. I know that you have Yankees batting averages and a couple other things over there. What do you got?
Well, I'm looking at our three teams, of course, and the Yankees and the Mets just lost 5 straight.
Sorry, the Yankees got
and-
swept by Tampa.
Yeah. Last week I said, the Yankees are off to a great start, 8-2, right?
Yeah.
They have won since.
Yeah. They're
And Tampa has moved up to second. Well, actually, they're tied now for first place.
Yeah.
8-7.
yeah.
And the Red Sox are 8-7, and they won 2. So they're moving ahead. Toronto lost 2, and they're 6-9. And I got Boston. Boston's
Boston,
6-9 plus. Okay, Baltimore's 8-7.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I just put a B there.
Okay.
So that's the American League East. In the National League East, the Mets are in last place.
Yeah, I saw that too. Dad, we're already getting 30 seconds, so I guess we're out. But good job as always, and thanks to Mike and Al in the back, of course. And thanks for watching. We'll catch you next week. And enjoy your sports.
Thank you for calling. Okay.
Thank you.